Okay, welcome back. In this section, we're going to start talking about trends. And we're going to leave all of the basic information behind. So if you're watching this section, you should be able to find the open, high, low, close on the bars. You should know what a down candlestick is, what an up candlestick is. You should know terms like bull. You should know terms like bear. All of these should be clear for you. If they're not, just go back and review the prior chapter and it will all start to make sense. I'm going to assume, moving forward from this section on, that all the basic terms you know. Now let's talk about trends. The main thing with trends is to keep it as simple as possible. Remember, we don't want to make trading complicated. So when we're looking to identify trend, what we're really saying, trend equals price direction. Okay, price direction. Now, price can only go 3 directions. Okay, if you think about it, just 3. Now, you probably guessed what those are. And we'll look at the chart. You can see price can move up, right? We can see that here's a price and here's a price. So price is obviously moving up. Price can move down. You can see that very clearly. Now price can also move sideways. Now here's a section where price moves almost dead sideways. Right there. So we have up, we have down, and we have sideways. In this course, we're going to talk about how to trade in each one of these environments, up, down, or sideways. We're also going to talk about ways to tell whether the price trend is up, whether trend is down, or whether price is moving sideways. Now, I want you to remember something. Sideways usually means no trend. No trend. These two, up and down, this equals trend, and this equals trend. Now, of course, we're not just going to rely on our eyes. We're not just going to sit back and look at a chart and hope that we can identify if price is moving up and down. What we're going to do as we move through the course is we're going to use several technical analysis tools that will help us to identify not only what the trend is, here whether it's up, or here whether it's down. We're also going to look and see where is the likely future price going to go. Now remember, it's not a guarantee, it's probabilities. Remember we talked in the introduction about being right 50% of the time? Well, you know, this is just like odds. So if you're familiar with the word odds, what are the odds? Is the phrase, what are the odds? Well, that's what we're counting on. We're counting on that we have tools that will help us to identify likely direction of price. So the tools that I give you as we move through the course are designed to help you to recognize what the trend is doing at the time. That means if it's going up, if it's going down, or if it's going sideways. And then what possibly the future price move will be. Okay? Now as we move through this, I'm going to start with the very basics. So we already said one way to find what trend is doing is simply look. Okay, price is moving up, price is moving down. Now we can also look at the chart itself. Now one thing about when price is moving in a down trend, what you will notice is that as the chart is moving, the lows will get lower. Now, I don't want to make this too complicated. So one of the things you don't want to do is to zoom in and try and look at all of these little teeny wiggles in here. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to focus on the smallest little movement on the chart. That's a mistake that rookie traders make constantly. What you do want to do is zoom back. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out as far as we can. Now you see, you really can't tell what all the small wiggles are doing, but I can see what some of the bigger moves are. In fact, what jumps out at me is this movement here. That's a pretty big move, isn't it? I mean, price moved all the way up here, down, and then back up. Now, inside of this movement, obviously price didn't just go straight. I mean, it's all over the place. Obviously, as price moved up here, it didn't just go straight. It's wiggling all over the place. But by zooming out, I can see that price is moving up. So this would be an uptrend. Now, we can go a little bit closer in and see some of the unique features of price as it's moving up or as it's moving down. So let's focus here on this uptrending market and try and see if we can tell some things about price. Now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. Make sure I can find it. There we go. So we're going to be looking at this area on the chart. They'll zoom in. Well, no. Let's see. We'll zoom in one more. Okay, that's good. That's very good. Okay, now you remember when we were zoomed way out that price moved up here. So price is trending up. Now let's take a look at time. Here's the 17th of June. Now you can see that here is the 9th of January. So this is a lot of time. We have June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and some of January. So we've got about 7 months. 7 months of time here as price is moving up. Now you can see here's an area where price moves sideways. Now remember, what I'm doing here is showing you what each of these are on the chart. So remember, you're trying to understand the concepts here. Later on, I will go into very specifically what is a sideways market, what is an uptrend, what is a downtrend. Right now, we're just talking about the very basics. So price moves sideways. Now let's take a look. What does price do in this uptrend? Well, price moves up here and then it moves down. So this makes a low. Price then moves back up. Price then makes a high. Then it makes a low. And a high, low, and finally a high. Now, what you should notice here is something about what price is doing. Oops, here's a high as well. Can you see how the highs are getting higher and the lows are getting higher? So when we're looking for an uptrend, we're looking for lows to get higher and we're looking for highs to get higher. Now, it doesn't matter if this trend is 7 months or if it's 3 days or 2 weeks. If price is making a higher low and a higher high, we can say price is trending up. Trending up. Now what about trending down? Let's take a look at an example there. Let's go ahead and zoom out. And I'm not going to use this area because price is moving. There aren't a whole lot of examples here, but I'll come back to it. Now let's go ahead and just sort of scoot forward. Now you can see here's an area where price is moving down. I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to leave it, well, I'll go one more. There we go. Okay, now you can see that here's an area where price is moving sideways, especially right here. But then what happens? Price moves down and then up. So we have a low and a high. Price moves down again, makes another low, makes another high, makes another low, then makes another high. You see that? Now it makes another low, and actually this chart continues. I had to cut it off. So obviously you can see that if price is moving in a downtrend, what's price going to do? See how the lows are getting lower and the highs are getting lower. So if the lows are getting lower and the highs are getting lower, we can say that price is trending down. Okay. Again, this is a very, very simple concept. But if it's not clear, please email or call me. I want to make sure that you understand this because it's very, very critical. Now let's go back to the area that, remember I said I was going to skip it and then come back to it? Well, when we're talking about price trend, the reason why trend is so important is because trend equals momentum. This is the key. Now momentum, this is simply speed. We want speed. Now what does this mean? What does speed mean? It simply means that we have hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of other traders and investors that are also pushing price in our direction. So in this area here, where price is moving down, we want to see price momentum, because that means if we were to sell here, other traders are also selling, and that's why price is moving down. In this area here, if we were to buy right here, we have momentum and other traders are buying, which pushes price up. Here's an important thing for you to remember. And I'm going to cover this later on in section number 7, but you've got to understand this. Price only moves when thousands or hundreds of thousands of other traders are thinking the same direction we are. Now, if you remember the big bull move in 1996, 1997, 98, 99, and some of 2000. You remember when the stock market was just going crazy? Everybody was thinking that price is going up. What does that mean? People are bullish. If people are bullish and they're buying, that means price is going up. If people are buying, price is going up.